That's why I did this class. Because some real estate agents don't know that taxes are an expense to the seller. But he doesn't have the money to pay him, Joe. You getting it, right?
The victim society. Right?
Include all expenses. You're laughing at it, but it happens. How many of you heard that? That it happens? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I'm not lying, I'm telling you the truth. Something else that happens. As a matter of fact, it just happened yesterday. What's today's date? What is it? June. Today's date. You're going to close your short sale July the 15th. Okay? July the 15th. You hope. But in between, there's a trust deed sale July the 7th. Trust deed sale. What's going to happen first? Are you going to close your short sale, or are the trust deed sale going to happen first? And come July the 15th, what are you going to have to close? Nothing. And real estate agents get mad at title companies. Watch what they tell the title companies. I'm never going to use your company again. Why? Because we were going to close our short sale July the 15th, but you didn't tell us about the trust deed sale July the 7th. Do you have a copy of the notice of default? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of the notice of sale? Yes. Did you read it? Whose fault is it? How many of you have heard this happens?
Yeah.
A lot. It just happened recently. I don't feel sorry for the realtors. I said, good. You learned the hard way, right? Watch this. What is the first form they gave the buyer and seller?
Agency.
I have a fiduciary duty to look for the best interest of my seller, right? So if the best interest of my seller is to do a short sale, but I messed up, and we lost it on a trust deed sale, did I violate my fiduciary duty?
Yes. Sure did.
Big time. So how important it is to keep in top, especially if it has a notice of default. Because if this was going to happen, but it would never happen to me, but if it did, I would have to call the lender to what? Postpone the trust deed sale, and they will postpone it a month to 8/7 to allow my short sale to close. Another mistake that comes around, your seller has an IRS tax lien of $100,000. That's on the name, right? General index. If you didn't get a general index, you would never find out about this, right? So there it is. Well, wait a minute. I just got my first to agree to give the second so much money. I got a judgment creditor that came out, I don't know from where, for $30,000. Now I have an IRS tax lien? What am I going to do now? No, what are you going to do now?
Negotiate.
Well, isn't it true that I have to go negotiate with a $30,000 creditor? Isn't it true?
Yeah.
Isn't it true that I have to go negotiate with the IRS? I'm going to have to tell you. In LA, the IRS are the easiest folks to deal with in a short sale. Because if I could prove to the IRS that there's not enough equity on this short sale, they will partial release this IRS tax lien to allow my short sale to close. But don't be like the real estate agent about a year ago that ran out of my class and told his sellers, oh, Joe Ramos said you don't have to pay the IRS tax lien. You're still liable, but they eliminate it from this property so you could close your short sale.
But they still come after you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, yeah, they come after you.
It's the lien, not the debt.
Okay. Now, by the way, the bankruptcy attorney's going to come in at 11, and I'm going to talk about something that... How many of you are learning something? This is a different short sale class, huh? It's not like your regular one, but now we're going to get to the regular one.
Can I ask you a quick question about the trustee sale? If I represent a buyer, how do I make sure that the listing agent's following up so that we don't get to the trustee sale date? do I...
You check the records yourself. Check them with your title company.
Okay, my title, okay.
Be on top of it.
And tell a listing agent to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Because they won't talk to you.
This is where you've got to get a title report, just not a profile.
Yeah, a profile won't do it. Now, guys, go ahead.
Sorry, I had another question to ask too. Is when they postpone a trustee sale date, is there a maximum number of times that they'll postpone it?
Oh, I postponed it 3 times.
Okay.
Sometimes they postpone it for 2 months,
Okay.
1 month, but I postponed 3 of them.
Okay.
3 different times. But here it is. Part of this class is you understanding the foreclosure, the trustee process, right? How many of you are familiar with the trustee sale process?
And the trustee will not stop you. You got to go directly to the lender. to get-
Oh, I know that. I know that. I go to both of those. Okay. Everybody's familiar with it? Let's see. Because you got to pass this test right now. If you don't pass this test, I can't give you that certification. Because this is the big one. You have a first of 150. You have a second for 35,000. You have a third for 15,000. You have a judgment creditor for 13,000. Real estate taxes, property taxes owed 5,000. Real estate taxes. Okay? IRS tax lien of 100,000. Let's do this. If the first forecloses, what happens to the second?
Goes there.
Goes away.
Be careful.
Goes away.
Be careful. Because if it's a recourse loan,
They go.
they come after the homeowner. Be careful. What happens to the third? What happens to the judgment creditor? Goes away. I mean, it doesn't go away. They're still responsible. But, okay. What happens to the real estate taxes?
Gets paid.
They got to pay. What happens to the IRS tax lien?
Negotiate.
What I hear?
Yeah, the first right of refusal.
They have the first right of refusal?
Yeah, they can actually come in and...
They could actually, how do you know that?
Because I used to be a trustee sale officer. Years ago, Trans-American time.
Did you know Lavella?
You're kidding me.
I work with her. I work at Transamerica.
Yeah. Crazy.
What's that big dude's name?
We'll talk. I'm too old to remember all the things. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Hear me. Because I'm going to give you a problem test. And all of you here are going to do it. I want everybody to do it. When you get the answer, don't shout it out. Put it in a piece of paper and I'll look and see. And the ones that get it, the right answer, I'm going to move them over here. Alrighty, here we go. If the first forecloses, we know what happens to this, right? So we know. Let me tell you what happens to the IRS tax lien. If the IRS tax lien was recorded less than 30 days from the trustee sale, less means 29 days, 28, right? It goes away. But the homeowner is still responsible, right? But for this, stays there. I mean, it goes away. Second scenario, If the IRS tax lien was recorded more than 30 days, what does more mean? 6 months, a
More
year?
than 30 days.
Uh-huh.
More than 31.
And, remember that word, and the trustee notified the IRS 25 days before the sale. Okay, you got that? And the trustee notified the IRS 25 days before the sale. After the foreclosure, it stays there 120 days. They have the right to redeem this property at 120 days. If they don't redeem this property, it goes away after 120 days. Third scenario, almost like the second scenario, but pay attention on what I say. If the IRS tax lien was recorded more than 30 days, a year, 6 months, but instead of and, I'm using but, the trustee never notified the IRS about the tax sale, and there's no law that states the trustee has to notify the IRS. Okay? What happens to that IRS tax lien after the foreclosure? It stays there, and whoever buys it is liable.
You know, I had a situation where I was going to look at a trustee sale. You know, there was instances where you have the liens on like the judgments and so forth. If it's prior to even the first is recorded, they're still on the property.
I know. Sure. And instead of them being a second, they're the first.
Right.
Oh, that happens a lot. When a title company misses a lien, it becomes the first. But here it is. We know what happens to these, okay? I want to give you a problem, and I know one of them here is going to get it right. $100,000 loan, $25,000 second, $10,000 third, $5,000 judgment, first, second, third judgment, $3,000 real estate taxes, and an IRS tax lien of $100,000 that was recorded 3 days before the trustee sale. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You know, if the second forecloses, anybody that buys it or whatever, the lender, if nobody buys it, the lender takes it back subject to the first, right? Everybody knows that. You are going to go to the trustee sale. You're the investor. Oh, one of the things that I want to tell you, if you go to a trustee sale and you're the only one there, don't buy anything. There's a reason nobody's there.
Anyone should ever buy.
Right. So here it is. We're at the trustee sale. You are going to go to the trustee sale. The second is foreclosing, so the opening bid is going to be $25,000 and change. Let's just round it to $25,000, okay? But you're going to have competition, so you take $25,000 in this pocket, and you take $25,000 in this pocket, okay? So you're there with me, and somebody bids $35,000. I tell you to wait. Somebody bids $40,000. Wait. $45,000. Now hit him with your two pockets. So now you bid $50,000, right? Everybody follow? How much money did you use? $50,000. Okay. If that's the case, this is the problem. And I gave you the answer over here, if you were paying attention. How much did you pay for that house? Don't yell it. Write it down.